What is happening? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is based on a comment that was left on the video of the Mast Racer Super Hertz Mega tattoo machine. This one where it is a mouthful, but I'll be honest with you, it's a fairly good machine to use. Now that comment is from Facts Make You Thriller. It was about a month ago from this point, and it says Mast Racer Pro versus Fold Pro. Which one do you think is the best in 2025? At the time I hadn't used the Fold Pro, and I reached out to Mast and asked if I could get one so I can have a look at it to answer your question. So this is it. I've never used it before, but what we'll be doing in this video is, first up, we are going to be doing an unboxing where I just take it out of the box and we have a look at all the bits and bobs that you get with it. Then I'm going to do some testing it and go through some of the specs and so on, and by the end of it I'll have an idea of what I think is best for 2025 out of these two machines. So that's going to come up straight after the intro. Yeah, so this is the Dragonhawk Fold Pro. Okay, so first of all you got this. Guessing this contains the instructions, so kind of tells you all the operating parameters and the motor type, the stroke length, input voltage, battery capacity, gives you all the precautions and so on. You also have this little box right here. Now this is going to contain your RCA cable, charging cable, so USB to USB Type-C, this little bag of extras. So you've got some O-rings, you've also got a spare swash plate, and I've never seen a machine like this, you know, a swash plate style machine actually offer spare swash plate, so that's pretty cool. And there we go. So that is the RCA dongle, and then this is the machine itself. So it's got the same ratchet system as the other ones. Here's the stroke adjuster, which goes from 2.4 right up to 4.2. And here's the battery connector. I'm going to do some tattooing with this now, and we will get back to you, and I will let you know exactly what I think of it and how I feel they compare to each other. You just gotta try not to use your elbow. What a fucking good film that is.
Oh, I really liked it.
Because if you think about it, what would happen is, like, if you're in a post-apocalyptic world and you've been there since a kid, you are literally just going to train like fuck to be, you're going to be mad ninjas, like. Alright then, so that's the unboxing done, and I did do a little bit of a test on the machine straight away. Done a couple of little, like, fine line, I don't want to say fine line because it's fucking bullshit. It's just fucking tattoos on with a 3-liner. Anyway, enough of me rambling. So, done a couple of tattoos with it, mostly line work. But then I got sidetracked, one of the kids' birthdays, so we all went out for the day to a place called Folly Farm in West Wales. Awesome place to go, and it was class. So now I'm back, heading out to the shop, and I'm going to continue testing out the Fold Pro from Mast Dragonhawk, and then I'll be able to give you a better idea of what it's like to use. But so far, so good. Okay, so I'm going to just take a look at the specs so we can kind of compare the two, and maybe that will help kind of make your decision better as to which one you may think is the best in 2025. So weight-wise, comparison of the two. The Fold Pro is 200 grams with the battery, or 199 grams with the RCA dongle, whereas the Mast Racer Pro Super Megahertz is 170 grams. So when it comes to weight, this one wins. On this one, it says it has a coreless motor. This one has a brushless motor. It's all down to preference, really. There's no kind of winner on that front. So the size of the machines, so diameter of 32 millimeters for the Fold Pro and the length of 128 millimeters for the Fold Pro, as opposed to 33 millimeters and 115 millimeters. So when it comes to size, lengthwise, this is a shorter machine. So you can see the size difference on the two. It's like, it's not massively different, but it's it's a little bit shorter on the Racer Pro versus the Fold Pro. If you want to go for a shorter machine, this one wins, but it's they're still quite small, both of them, so I would say it's an even keel there. This one has multiple stroke lengths, so if you're somebody that wants to go for, you know, as many different stroke lengths as you can out of one machine, this is going to win. Whereas this one has a fine-tuned frequency, which you can change it from 3 to 140 hertz, which allows you to create a lot more different textures. It has a dot function, so whilst it has a fixed stroke length of 4.2 millimeters, you can do a lot more with it because of the brushless motor. Battery capacity is going to be 1,500 milliamp hours on the Fold Pro. On this one, it's going to be 1,520 milliamp hours on the Mast Racer Pro Super Megahertz. However, according to the websites, they both have around about 5 hours worth of running time, so even kind of there. Charging time, hour and a half on the Fold Pro for up to 5 hours worth of tattooing. 1 hour on the Mast Racer Pro Super Megahertz for up to 5 hours worth of tattooing. So kind of this one wins in that respect. The grip is longer on this one, it's shorter on that one, and so there's that. Now, when it comes to obviously changing the batteries and everything once it's all wrapped, this one's going to be a lot easier to change because it is literally a case of just, you know, popping that off and you're done. Whereas with this one, you are going to have to unscrew it and then take that out, change, swap it over, have it in the right place. And then there we go, there's that. So it is a little bit more work to kind of change the battery on this one as opposed to this one. Now, equally though, when it comes to the function of the machines, you know, I think the screens are very important, especially when you barrier them. The screen on the Mast Racer is much better than the Fold Pro. It's a lot duller. I can switch, even if you switch on, it's a little bit brighter there, but it's a lot more legible seeing the voltage speed and everything on the Racer Pro as opposed to the Fold Pro. But then when you put a bit of barrier film on it, I feel like this one is always going to be a lot more legible than this one. So I would like to see this maybe having a similar screen readout as this one, just because it looks like it's easier to see it when you're tattooing. That being said, once you've set the voltage where you need it at, you kind of like do it by ear. You know, you just set what sounds right, or if you like running it at hertz, you run this at 100 hertz and so on. So yeah, that's the specs comparison of the two machines. Like, you could take from that what you will. They're very, very close. And, you know, there's a lot of similarities to them, and a lot of the differences are, you know, genuinely to be expected because the differences are very different. Ultimately, the final thoughts on this machine is not as clean cut as what I thought it was going to be going into it. I thought going into this, I was going to be able to come back to you and go like, fuck yeah, this is the one. This is the best one in 2025. Honestly, it's not that case. It is a case of it's what you prefer and what suits your needs as a tattooist. Both good machines. When it comes to the Mast ones, I honestly feel like over the last couple of years, Mast have really upped their game with tattoo machines, and you know, this was the first Mast machine that I've used where I'm like, yeah, I can actually tattoo with this on a daily basis and I have no issues with it. This one I can tattoo with. I genuinely prefer this one to tattoo with. Now, what I would love to see is if Mast made a 3.2 millimeter stroke version of this one, because then again, it goes back to what I like to do is have a dedicated machine for the job. So this would be my liner, my color packer, and the 3.2 would be my shader, and when I want to do color blending and so on. So it's just a dedicated machine to do the job that you needed to do. So yeah, both machines are good. Totally down to you. My personal preference is I go with this one, which is the Racer Pro Super Hertz, purely because I like the screen. The screen's better on it, and it's got a couple of functions like the hertz readout, and it's a lot more smaller and comfortable to use in the hand. So one thing I will say about these machines, and I think this is something that, you know, if they haven't got them, they really need to look at making them, and that is, they need to have disposable grips. I honestly think, like, you know, as cheap as they are, you're really missing something not having disposable grips for them. And I'm just like flicking through their website, and Yeah, do you know what? There's nothing on the website. So yeah, nothing on the website when it comes to grips, and I think that's where the Mast are letting themselves down. They're coming out with all of these machines, and you know, like I said, some of the machines are getting better. Every time they got a new one, they are getting better, but you know, I think at this point now, I think what they need to do is focus on, say, their flagship machines, reduce the amount of machines that they have, and then maybe concentrate on things like disposable grips and added little things that would be really, really well suited for tattooists. Like for me, I'd either have to buy a load of these and sterilize them, or I'd have to, I'd have to use an alternative machine that has disposable grips, depending on how busy I am during the day. So there we go. I think I've come to the decision, I suppose. Yeah, they're both good, and it's down to you what you think is the right machine to use in 2025. The Racer Pro gets my vote, and that's just purely from a personal preference. But I can see why people would want to choose honestly, like why people would choose to use the Fold Pro over a lot of other machines on the market, because it does work and it works really well. So there we go. That is me done. I can't ramble on anymore because I think I'll probably end up just chatting shit. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification button and all that stuff to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing. I appreciate it. It helps the channel grow and it allows me to bring content to you. So fucking happy days. And if you haven't been to Folly Farm, it's in West Wales. Check it out. If you've got kids and you're a family, honestly, absolutely awesome day out. I'm not just saying that. It's not an endorsement. I love taking the kids down here. And yeah, take it easy.